Are you an insurance agent that really wants to have dynamic levels of success and maybe you see yourself as a six-figure final expense income earner? Well, I want to show you some things that you need to know before you take the old plunge and say, I do. So we're going to dive into 3 things that hopefully will take you to the very next level in an industry where 90% of the agent force fails. So I will not fail to show you what you need to see, even if maybe you were looking at this like it's going to be the easiest money you've ever made. Simple to business is, easy it is not. So before I go into this content with you, my name's Jason. I'm your friend in the industry, and I'm so blessed to recruit and partner with some of the most powerful insurance agents as well as agencies that align here to sell life, Medicare, and annuities face-to-face, but more importantly in the telespace. So free resources for your taking at jasonfinalexpense.com. And let's dive into this content today. I hope it is a help to you. So first off, number 1, you've got to get up every day without fail. You cannot let emotions rob you, because it will. This business is an effort business, which means you cannot act on emotion if you expect to survive and thrive in this space. It's a high movement field, and those that don't move will fail. So get yourself into a place where you're going to sacrifice for your future. This is no different than a good parent knows how to get up and, you know what, I can give up a couple things to make sure that my kids are in a better place. Will you invest into your future without fail? Will you put yourself into a position where you can sacrifice maybe a little bit of TV time to take your career to the next level? Will you maybe sacrifice a couple little minutes out of your lunch break to launch every day or to learn better ways to close business, and more importantly, to take care of these prospects? They need you. They need to know your heart before you're allowed to help them. So will you sacrifice for your future self? Your answer to that question may define whether you make the dollars in this space or whether you say the business just doesn't work for me. This is a business where you got to give the best of yourself every day on these phone calls, not the rest of yourself, and find yourself getting robbed when you really can't close the business. So get yourself into a position where you can sacrifice, just like a good parent will sacrifice some of their future to make sure that their kids don't fail. This space is a high effort business, but it's also one where a lot of people think the business is super easy. They don't make engagements and then they fail in this space. So understand, number 1 is very important. Get up every day and support your future self. Like, I'm not letting that man fail. You won't let your kids fail. You won't let your sons and daughters, your friends down. Don't let yourself down either. Look at yourself as the most important instrument on you having an intentional outcome in this industry by what you did, and what you did on the daily. Because those that do have the chance of getting, but it's an industry where it's a performance-based business. There's no participation trophies in this space. You're going to get paid what you're worth, and some days you're overpaid, truthfully, and some days you're underpaid. You really got to understand that when you dive into a sales space that's not W-2. You're going to be grinding, and then sometimes, woohoo, we get what we just are insanely grateful for, and that's the ability to close needs and get a sale. So number 2, I want to share with you that your choices are very pivotal to you finding profitability. You cannot allow emotion to get in the way of you working and moving. If you want to make money in this space, it's all about not letting emotion rob you, but about running towards engagements, and engagements. And I'm not talking about marriage engagements, but you've got to date a lot of folks to find the right one to say I do to, right? In this space, you've got to talk to a lot of people to get the sale, to then get profitability. It's about your engagements and your movements if you want to make money. Your emotions are going to hurt you and harm you. You cannot let, oh, you know what, I'm just going to hit the income reduction button a little longer. I'm just going to maybe watch a little bit more TV, watch a little bit more Netflix or a YouTube video for an hour that turns into 3. Don't fail to train. Believe in your future self enough to invest in your future self so that you can find a way. This business is all about connecting the dots. It's a time-tested and noble profession that's been around forever. You've got to have a good mentor to have a chance of making good money. You can't just figure it out on your own. They'll help you just connect the dots. Have a good mentor that can make a way for you so that you don't make a lot of the little mistakes that a lot of folks make in the industry early on. If you want to fail in this industry, fail to listen to a mentor who's at the top of the food chain and has taken those licks themselves or herself. You've got to know that I can do what someone successful has already done so that I don't have to learn the hard way and hear maybe an unnecessary no because I missed maybe a part in the presentation that could have maybe ended in the client doing business with you. You've got to train and train and train with good mentors that can really help you. But if you fail to connect the dots, you probably won't make the dollars. And the business really comes down to just dialing a lot of leads, whether you're face-to-face or in the telespace role. You've got to really not get rocked by emotion when you're told, no, not right now, tomorrow, go pound sand, go to some place that isn't heaven. That hurts you. It really does. And belief is the backbone of this simple industry, but you've got to buy in to what you're doing or you don't even have a chance of making the dollars. Belief is big, and the moment you don't believe that you can do this, you know what, you're probably right. This is why mentorship's important. Have someone that can help you navigate the tough waters so that you can have higher take-home pay when you find success. It's a painful playground, but a mentor can make a way for you. Not that it's going to be pretty, but they'll help you get to the place of profitability, hopefully, because that's what they have. And success breeds success. And if you're hanging around with folks that really are just licking their wounds, you probably won't make a lot of wealth in this space because, like I say, this business is a powerful place when you've got a good mental mindset. Those that are blaming everything on the leads or blaming everything on the weather or whatever they want to talk about, they're going to get hurt. And I don't want that to be you. So make sure that first off you partner right. It's very important. Just like in a marriage, you want to find a good partner, and then it's amazing. You find the wrong one, and you're like, oh, well, I wish I would have been single and stayed single. It sounded a lot better right now. I don't like what I just did. And that's because sometimes you didn't choose the right partner. An IMO and FMO, the right work family, the right insurance group. You've got to be aligned with a good organization like ours at jasonfinalexpense.com that can help you and train you and spend 5 days in a training platform so that you don't get hurt. So many insurance agents don't have a good mentor. You've got to choose your mentor and your agency and your work family right. If not, it can rock you. When you get rocked by the constant seas of no's, not right now, not tomorrow, not today's, make sure that you make those mistakes in training instead of on the battlefield when you're buying leads. That can hurt you. Leads to a lot of insurance agents, 90% of them, going broke because they didn't know how to handle the objections, robbed them of belief, rocked their world. Now, number two, you've got to know the right leads to purchase. You've got to have, maybe if you're an agent that's part-time, you got to have the right exclusive leads or the right aged leads, or maybe you want an inbound lead to not spend all the time dialing. If that's you and you need good leads, reach out at jasonfinalexpense.com, but you can't fail to invest in leads. Leads cost money. This business is one where, especially in final expense telesales, you got to spend money to make money in this space, and it's not a guarantee. It's a very good handshake when you make it, but you've got to get through self-doubt. You've got to know how to script and rebuttal and write the app and get the demons off your back to make the dollars in this space. But that requires you to buy leads. It requires you to have that faith. Number two, purchasing those leads on the weekly, prioritizing that. But then the last thing that I want to share with you is you've got to prioritize action. You got to just do it again. Just because it worked once and you bought leads, you've got to believe in yourself to not wince at the next week's lead purchase. You've got to prioritize your leads. If not, you will lose your lunch because you're going to have old leads that now are harder to get a hold of, and you won't have the connections, won't have the capitalization that maybe you could have had if you failed to never not purchase leads. You've got to buy leads on the weekly. Good top producing agents do this without fail. And those that fail out of the industry will say, oh, it's the weather, it's the full moon, it's the X, Y, or Z. Why no one buys from me? And maybe it's as simple as I didn't train like my career depends on it. Maybe I didn't prioritize action, and maybe I didn't put the right lenses on this industry when I looked at the powerful opportunity, but also the amazing amounts of effort and sacrifice that I will have to invest into the industry to find success. So before you start, make sure you got a good partner, a good ally, and make sure that you're one that can take massive steps of action without fail, because I want you to become a top income earner. I want you to become $1 million round table agent personally and professionally. And if you need any resources or a good work family to call a home, jasonfinalexpense.com. Sacrifice, throw yourself into what you know that you are capable of and what you can accomplish, because this business is not rainbows and unicorns, but it's the right fit for a lot of people. We'll see you soon, my friends, and I hope this helps.